Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Uniontown High School football live on Facebook from WMBS Radio. Hello again, this is Joshua Scully. We're excited to bring you the next edition of the National Road Rumble. That's right, the Uniontown Red Raiders and the Brownsville Falcons here from Redstone Field. Coverage of this game is brought to you by the Sprouse Insurance Group, Magisterial District Judge Nate Henning, SWGI, U.S. Digestive Health, Joby's Golf, Jack W. Connor for District Attorney, Peach and Pharmacy, Zen's Construction Warehouse, Fayette County Commissioner Vince Vicites, Fay West Glass Company, UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, Uniontown Mayor Bill Gerke, George Dental Associates, Sandy Howe Notary Services, LLC, Mike Auble for Fayette County District Attorney, First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, Reese Warehouse, and Fayette County Commissioner Dave Lohr. Our pregame coverage of Uniontown High School football is sponsored by Sprouse Insurance Group and agent David Hughes. They will get you ready for the game. It's the Uniontown Red Raiders and the Brownsville Falcons here, preparing to kick off at 7 o'clock. That's just about 13 minutes from now on an absolutely beautiful Friday evening here in western Fayette County. We are excited to be able to bring you all the coverage tonight here from Redstone Field. And, of course, you can check out your radio dial, 590 AM, for coverage of the Laurel Highlands Mustangs this evening. It was the Laurel Highlands Mustangs and the Uniontown Red Raiders who met last week at Bill Power Stadium in Uniontown, a game that ended with a 50-13 score in favor of Laurel Highlands. But had you been there, had you seen it, you may just say it was a much closer game than any 50-13 game had a right to be. It was a game full of big plays and swings of momentum. Ultimately, Laurel Highlands did come out on top, and the Uniontown Red Raiders will enter this game looking for their first win on the season. Mike Auble is the Republican nominee for Fayette County District Attorney, a retired member of the Army and a veteran of Afghanistan with nearly 20 years of experience in military, police, corrections, and criminal law. He is the most qualified candidate to be your chief law enforcement officer. He is a strong defender of your constitutional rights, and he's dedicated to addressing crime, drugs, and corruption. We need change in the district attorney's office. Vote for Mike Auble on November 7th because he is the right person to bring about that change. Paid for by the candidate. Are you looking for a dentist? Dr. Michael George and Dr. Ashley Parker of George Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com, and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry. Bad hair day, bad day at the office, bad day behind the wheel. Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address, plus seriously good service. Now, that's something to smile about. Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross River Township is Sprouse Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to SprouseInsurance.com. Erie Rate Lock is not guaranteed. Continued insurance coverage is not available in all states. Last season, the Uniontown Red Raiders and the Brownsville Falcons met two times, once here at Redstone Field and once at Bill Power Stadium in Uniontown. The Bill Power Stadium edition of this matchup ended with a 40-7 victory for the Uniontown Red Raiders. That was Uniontown's first victory last season. And then later in the season, they met again here at Redstone Field on October 7th, and the Red Raiders won 49-0. The Brownsville Falcons, of course, have gone quite some time without securing a victory on the gridiron. In fact, it has now been 31 games since the Brownsville Falcons have last won. That last win coming on September 6th, 2019, a 27-26 victory against Bethlehem Center. Some other long streaks without a win in our local area include Derry, the Derry Trojans having gone 20 games without a win, Ringgold, Fox Chapel, New Brighton, Springdale, Seton LaSalle, and Newcastle. Newcastle having gone 10 games. The Brownsville Falcons band now on the field, and we will pause briefly as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And a beautiful rendition of the national anthem as performed by the Brownsville area Falcons marching band brings us to just about 6 minutes from kickoff here on the Sprouse Insurance Group pregame show. Fayette County's own Jack Connor is running for district attorney this November, and he's serious about turning this county around. He's going to go after the drug dealers who are pumping fentanyl into our county, insist on maximum sentences for dangerous criminals, and escalating sentences for repeat offenders. With clear consequences, would-be criminals would think twice. Then we can all raise families, start businesses, and feel safe in Fayette County. You can hear from Jack on Mondays at 4:15 p.m. right here on WMBS Radio, paid for by friends of Jack Connor. The Uniontown Red Raiders come onto the field here at Redstone Field as we are just now nearly 5 minutes from kickoff, a 7 p.m. kickoff between the Brownsville Falcons and the Uniontown Red Raiders. Uniontown did defeat Brownsville twice last season. Brownsville has that 31-game losing streak coming into this contest, going all the way back to September 6th of 2019. And just before we paused for the national anthem, we had run down a list of other football teams locally to the Uniontown area who have gone a little while without picking up a win. Those include Derry area, who have now lost 20 straight games. Ringgold at 16, Fox Chapel 12, Newcastle 10, among others. Brownsville, though, the leader in that category with 31 consecutive losses. Brownsville began the season much like Uniontown did last week, and unfortunately for the Falcons, that game ended with a 42-6 defeat at the hands of the Bentworth Bearcats. And we see now Brownsville also on the field tonight. The Brownsville Falcons will be wearing their black uniform with some gold and white trim, gold and white number. The Uniontown Red Raiders in their white uniform, maroon trim, maroon number. And the Uniontown Red Raiders looking very sharp in those white uniforms, of course, if you're a real football fan, you're hoping that those uniforms do not stay white throughout the broadcast. We want to see the Red Raiders working hard on the field and picking up those scores, first downs, big plays. We're ready to see it, and we got to see some of it last week. Now we're ready to see the Uniontown Red Raiders put it all together and win their first contest of the season. The UPMC Rehabilitation Institute on Wayland Smith Drive offers cutting-edge physical therapy. Jim Burns and his staff are residents of the community, treating sports injuries, neurological conditions, back pain, sprains and strains, joint replacements, hand injuries, and other conditions. They treat you efficiently and safely by taking all necessary precautions while disinfecting the clinic regularly. All insurance accepted, experienced therapist, convenient location and hours, part of the community. Call the office with a prescription from your doctor or schedule by direct access 724-437-7500 for the UPMC Rehabilitation Institute. Welcome back to Redstone Field for another exciting edition of the Uniontown Red Raiders football season, live here on Facebook from WMBS Radio. Coverage of this game is brought to you by the Sprouse Insurance Group, Magisterial Judge Nate Henning, SWGI U.S. Digestive Health, Joby's Golf, Jack W. Connor for District Attorney, Peachin Pharmacy, Zen's Construction Warehouse, Fayette County Commissioner Vince Facides, Fay West Glass Company, UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, Uniontown Mayor Bill Gerke, George Dental Associates, Sandy Howe Notary Services, LLC, Mike Abel for Fayette County District Attorney, First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County, Reese Warehouse, and Fayette County Commissioner Dave Lohr. Our pregame coverage of Uniontown High School football is sponsored by the Sprouse Insurance Group. And this is the Sprouse Insurance Group pregame show that we are now going to bring to a conclusion as we look to see if Uniontown can make it 3 straight against the Brownsville Falcons, dating back to last season. The Brownsville Falcons looking for their first win since 2019. Exciting players on both sides. And now the captains meet at center field for their ceremonial coin toss before getting this one underway. We're just about 2 minutes from kickoff. Once again, the Uniontown Red Raiders in their white uniform tonight, maroon number and maroon trim. The Brownsville Falcons in a black uniform, white and gold trim, white and gold number. Uniontown will begin the game receiving the football and moving left to right across your screen, and Brownsville will have the opening kickoff tonight from Redstone Field. A beautiful night in western Fayette County. Sunny skies, pleasant temperatures, and we suspect the weather to remain the same throughout this contest. For those of you who may be checking out the Laurel Highlands football game as well, of course, Laurel Highlands enjoyed a victory last week against the Uniontown Red Raiders, and tonight they will be opening section play. And you can check out their game on 590 WMBS tonight for all of that action. Laurel Highlands Mustangs, best of luck to the Mustangs tonight as they continue their season looking for a second consecutive win as they take on Bell Vernon. Tonight at Redstone Field, we're going to see if the Uniontown Red Raiders can capture a win and claim this edition of the National Road Rumble between Brownsville and Uniontown, a rivalry that goes back decades. Of course, these two teams did go some time without playing one another, and this rivalry was renewed last season, which we were really excited about given the proximity of these two schools. When you think about Uniontown Red Raider football, you really like to see the Red Raiders on the gridiron with the local opponents, when possible, the Brownsville Falcons, Laurel Highlands Mustangs, the Albert Gallatin Colonials. That one, of course, coming up in the very near future. And we like to see Uniontown taking on those local teams. I'm going to apologize. It appears as though the Uniontown Red Raiders will, in fact, be kicking off. They will be kicking off left to right, so the Falcons are indeed going to be moving right to left across your screen. But the Uniontown Red Raiders are going to open this one up with the kickoff, and Brownsville is going to receive the football to begin. And here is that opening kick. The Falcons are going to take a short kick from about the 32-yard line, and play is going to stop right there. Receiving that kick for the Brownsville Falcons, number 7, Jonathan Vassbinder. So the Brownsville Falcons will begin this drive, 1st and 10, spot of the ball is officially going to be the 34-yard line. The Uniontown Red Raiders defense making its way out onto the field. And the Brownsville Falcons going to see if they can't get something going early against these Uniontown Red Raiders. In 2 meetings last season, the Brownsville Falcons scored just 1 time against Uniontown. And the Falcons are going to come to the line 1st and 10. And the snap. Handoff to Brownsville Falcons number 4. That's Anthony Evans taking the handoff. And Evans does not have far to go before the Uniontown Red Raiders find him and bring him down. Going to be a short loss on the play. And the mark of the ball is brought back to the 33-yard line. Many of you who checked out our broadcast last season when Uniontown and Brownsville met or were able to attend the game in person, some of the names on this Brownsville Falcon side is going to sound very familiar to you. Now we see Evans and Harlan Davis, one of those familiar names. And Davis takes the handoff where he is met by a group of Red Raiders and then dragged down. So once again, the Brownsville Falcons appear to be heading in the wrong direction. 2 consecutive plays, and the Falcons have lost a yard on each play. That's going to set up 3rd and long for the Falcons now to see if they cannot find a way to pick up some yardage here on this initial drive against the Uniontown Red Raiders. The Red Raiders, several playmakers on the defensive side of the football, and they will not be afraid to come after you. The Laurel Highlands Mustangs learned that last week. The Uniontown Red Raiders defense certainly at times dominated long stretches of that contest. We'll see how they fare here on 3rd and long against the Falcons. Looked like an early jump from the Falcons' offensive line, but the pitch is going to go to Evans, and Evans has a corner before he is dragged down from behind by Uniontown's number 24, Cam Jackson. Certainly you know that name, especially if you're from the Uniontown area. Cam Jackson, big week last week against the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, and we're expecting the same from him tonight. Spot of the ball is now going to be the Brownsville 40, and the Falcons are going to come out into punt formation, and it will be Evans, the most recent ball carrier, who is going to be doing the punting. Back deep for Uniontown, number 4, Kadrian McGlee. And also back there, we're going to see Cam Jackson. And, oh my, there's a bit of a miscue for the Falcons, and the Uniontown Red Raiders are going to capitalize, and they will be taking over right there. So not a good start for the Falcons. Spot of the ball for Uniontown appears to be the Brownsville 31 for this opening drive. Couldn't ask for much more if you're a Uniontown Red Raider fan. 9:54 to play in the first quarter, and Uniontown has got a very friendly spot of the ball here to begin their initial drive. And the Red Raiders come to the line. Great offensive line for Uniontown. A lot of size on that offensive line, and they did very well last week, especially early on in the game. And we may have a jump here. Possibly the Brownsville Falcons getting an early start. It appeared as though there was an offsides. We'll see what the official call is. Indeed, that will be the case. And that's going to gift the Uniontown Red Raiders another 5 yards. So Uniontown will now have 1st and 5 to begin this initial drive. 1st and 5 from the Brownsville 26 now. Kadrian McGlee, the Uniontown quarterback, with split backs, 1 to either side. Cam Jackson being one of them. And snap. Handoff goes to Jackson. Jackson looking for an edge. Jackson finds it. Jackson down the sidelines, and he's finally going to step out of bounds at about the 6. The Brownsville Falcons trying to cut him off, and Jackson just kept finding a few more feet to take. Finally, he steps out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. And now the Uniontown Red Raiders going to have 1st and goal. A golden opportunity for Uniontown to really come out of the gate swinging here. It's going to be McGlee once again with split backs, 1 to either side. And McGlee's going to keep this himself, and he's got a little bit of room to work with there. Gets to about the 4 before he is twisted down by Brownsville Falcons number 70, Michael Ullery. That'll bring up 2nd and goal for Uniontown. Uniontown Red Raiders beginning this one with Jackson and number 10, Mason Kuhn, in the backfield. Brownsville Falcons now hoping for the best. They've got about 12 feet to defend between the Uniontown Red Raiders and an opening 6 points for Uniontown. It's going to be McGlee once again, preparing to take the snap. He's got Kuhn and Jackson both to the far side. Handoff is going to go to number 28 for Uniontown, and that's going to be Notorious Grooms, trying to find an edge. Cannot quite get there. He's going to get the ball to about the 3-yard line, and that's going to bring up third down for Uniontown and goal to go. The Brownsville Falcons now got to be seriously thinking they're close to pulling off a really difficult defensive stand. Uniontown needing just 9 feet now to punch this one in and go up 6. Beautiful evening here at Redstone Field. Full sun coming down onto the field as the Uniontown Red Raiders come up to the line. Jackson and Kuhn again with McGlee. Split back. And McGlee's got Grooms out wide on one side and Malachi Mitchell on the other. And the ball is loose. And the Brownsville Falcons very quick to try to pounce on it. We'll see what the official call is. And the spot of the ball is being waved down at the 1, so it does look like the Uniontown Red Raiders are going to retain possession. But that'll bring up fourth down. We're going to say from about the 1.5-yard line. It's placed right between the first and the second yard markers. Kadrian McGlee is going to come right up under center here and try to leap in for a touchdown. And he's going to twist ahead. And officially, yes, it is. It's a Red Raider touchdown here to begin the scoring at Redstone Field. Great effort there by Brownsville's Michael Ullery to try to twist McGlee back across the goal line. But Kadrian is a tremendous athlete, and he's got a big frame and plenty of power to push his way across. And so now Uniontown looking to make it 7 points and go up 7-0 against the Brownsville Falcons. This is going to be Sam Fitzpatrick on. Your holder, Nathan Searock, and that one's going to hit the upright and bounce through. So a little bit of kicking magic there from Sam Fitzpatrick. And the Uniontown Red Raiders go up 7-0 with 8:06 to play here at Redstone Field. The UPMC Rehabilitation Institute on Wayland Smith Drive offers cutting-edge physical therapy. Jim Burns and his staff are residents of the community, treating sports injuries, neurological conditions, back pain, sprains and strains, joint replacement, hand injuries, and other conditions. They treat you efficiently and safely by taking all necessary precautions while disinfecting the clinic regularly. All insurance accepted, experienced therapists, convenient location and hours, part of the community. Call the office with a prescription from your doctor or schedule by direct access, 724-437-7500. So it will be Sam Fitzpatrick handling the kickoff now for Uniontown, who have jumped out to a quick 7-0 advantage against the Brownsville Falcons. And here is Fitzpatrick. He's going to do his run up to the ball. Great kick. This one's going to be fielded at about the 12, and Brownsville going to bring this one back, looking for an edge, and not finding one for Brownsville is going to be number 9 for the Falcons, Levi Grogan. He's ripped down by the Uniontown Red Raiders, and the Brownsville Falcons will begin this drive with a spot at about their own 18, 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Brownsville, unfortunately for them, traveled backward toward the Uniontown Red Raider end zone during their first possession. They're going to look for something a little better than that this time, as they have a new set of downs here, 1st and 10, to begin what will be their second drive of the game. Falcons in an I formation, and the Uniontown Red Raiders may have been across the line there. We get some flags down. And the officials are going to confer. And it doesn't appear to be offsides against the Red Raiders. That's going to give the Falcons positive ball movement for the first time tonight, and the spot of the ball is going to come out to the 22. Falcons now back up to the line of scrimmage. Still in the I formation. Davis the deep back, and now Davis may be moving. Harlan Davis took a few extra steps toward the line of scrimmage and got everybody moving on both sides of the ball. And this is going to be a false start against the Brownsville Falcons. Ball is going to come right back to where it started. So we've got 1st and 10 again, with the Falcons having moved ahead 5 yards on the offsides penalty and then 5 yards back on the false start. 8:02 to play in the first quarter. We're into about 12 minutes of action overall, with a kickoff at 7 o'clock, and the time now right about 7:12. The Red Raiders already ahead 7. It's going to be Evans and Davis in the I form. Handoff goes to Davis. Davis has nowhere to go. He is met by a sea of Red Raiders, and even a couple of his own linemen get twisted down, trying to create some space for him. So far, that Uniontown defensive front has been very, very effective. Brownsville Falcons on their first drive, of course, ran a few plays, lost a yard on first down, lost a yard on second down, just could not get much going. And then, of course, were unable to punt the ball away, gifting Uniontown a relatively short drive for their first 7 points of the night. The Red Raiders defensive line also very effective last week for long stretches of the game. We're going to see if the Falcons can't get Harlan Davis involved here on 2nd and long. The handoff does go to Davis. Davis looks for some space, and he's lost the football. It's out and recovered by Brownsville Falcons number 60, Anthony Rico, falling on it. Davis had a nice few steps there and actually stepped out of a tackle and was appearing to prepare to take on Cam Jackson head on when the football just came right out. And Brownsville recovers. It's going to set up for them a 3rd down and about 4 to go. The scoreboard here at Redstone Field showing a somewhat more friendly 3rd and 3, but we're going to say this is about 3rd and 4 for the Falcons. Once again, Evans and Davis in the backfield. Davis gets the handoff, and he gets spun around. The ball is out again. We'll see if Davis is ruled down. It does appear that the Falcons came up with the ball either way. It appeared for the Uniontown Red Raiders that Kyle Ray and Cam Watkins were in on making that stop. Forward progress for Davis is going to be ruled to be right about the 26-yard line, and that is going to bring up 4th and about 2 yards to go. So we're going to see the Falcons attempt another punt, and it will be Evans again back deep to send this punt away for Uniontown. Jackson standing right about midfield near the large Brownsville B. Brownsville doing a last-moment personnel change here. 5:30 remaining in the first quarter. And now we've got a whistle. And it appears as though we have a timeout, and indeed we do. A timeout taken by the Brownsville Falcons. We're live here on WMBS Radio via Facebook from Redstone Field. 5:26 to play in the first quarter. It's Uniontown 7, Brownsville nothing. From chips and cracks to splits and shatters, if you need new glass, Fay West Glass Company is the one to call. Fay West Glass has served Fayette and Greene counties for over 25 years and specializes in residential glass installations and replacements, plus commercial and industrial glass. So when that window's busted or that sliding door is shattered and you can't wait, Fay West is available. 724-439-8600. Proudly local and veteran-owned, Fay West Glass will earn your business. Welcome back to Redstone Field here with the Uniontown Red Raiders holding a 7-0 advantage over the Brownsville Falcons. And it's going to be the Falcons' number 4, Anthony Evans, who's going to try his hand, or should we say try his foot at punting this one away. Here comes the snap. Evans takes it, and he does send this one. He's a lefty kicker. And here on the other side is Kadrian McGlee going to step in front of Cam Jackson. And Kadrian likes it. He's down the sideline, and the play appears to be whistled dead. Oh, my goodness. Kadrian McGlee was going to take that one to the house. And he is going to be ruled to have stepped out of bounds at the Brownsville 33-yard line. Kadrian had one man to beat and certainly appeared to be well on the way to beating him, and it would have been another 6 points for the Red Raiders. But instead, this drive going to begin at what appears to be the Brownsville 33. Uniontown Raider head coach Keith Jeffries stepping out to share a few words with Kadrian as he returns to the huddle, and the Red Raiders begin their second drive of the evening. First drive was certainly successful, did not have far to go. This one, of course, does not have too terribly far to go either. The poor Brownsville Falcons to this point have not yet had an opportunity to cross midfield. And now it looks like that due to a penalty, the spot of the ball is going to be brought back. We'll wait and see the exact nature of the beast here. The spot of the ball coming way back and into Uniontown territory. And now placed at the Uniontown 48-yard line, so a late flag, perhaps a personal foul committed by Uniontown. Very quickly done by the officiating crew here. It appeared at first that the spot was going to be the 33, so perhaps we had an infraction occur very late in the action there. This, of course, a good break for the Falcons. They've got a lot more space to defend now. And it's going to be Kadrian McGlee taking the snap. Handoff goes to Jackson. Jackson wants the end. And he's finding it. He's across midfield and just about to the first down marker. He's going to be pulled down right around the Brownsville 42-yard line. We'll see if the officials give Jackson a friendly spot there. He was very close to the marker. And it looks like they're going to call him just short. It's going to be second and probably less than a yard for the Uniontown Red Raiders. 4:44 to play here in the first quarter. Uniontown just beginning their second drive. And the Red Raiders center, number 77, Gary Smitley, going to walk up and lead the offensive line into position. The Red Raiders with a lot of size on that offensive line. Here's the snap to McGlee. Handoff again goes to Jackson. Jackson looking for some room, and he's going to find just a little bit before he's tripped up by Harlan Davis. That's going to be plenty for a first down, though. Jackson finding just enough of the edge to get the ball all the way to the Brownsville 34-yard line. So that will result in a Red Raider first down. And Uniontown now has the ball just about where they appeared to initially have it when Kadrian McGlee stepped out of bounds on that punt return. On this drive so far, we've seen McGlee and Jackson, as well as number 45, Nick Torbich. And Torbich is back there now as the split backs, Jackson and Torbich on either side of McGlee. McGlee going to go handoff to Jackson inside, and Jackson finds some room between the tackles this time. And it's going to be a handful of Brownsville Falcon defenders, among them number 88, Donovan Wimmer, bringing Jackson down. Jackson plowing ahead to the Brownsville 28. The Uniontown Red Raiders, of course, on this drive, looking to consume some time, and they certainly have, breaking off some significant running plays and eating up some of this first quarter clock, which is now very quickly down to 3:44 and counting. McGlee, Torbich in the backfield now. They're going to be joined by number 22, Michael Thomas. Notorious Grooms in the slot. Here's the snap. McGlee back. Going to look to pass out of a good pocket and completes a nice-looking ball to number 1, Calvin Winfrey. Winfrey, nice little spin to beat one tackle and then steps out of bounds at the Brownsville 18. Going to be first down now for Uniontown. The Red Raiders methodically driving. And the first quarter here rapidly going by at Redstone Field. When the game began at 7 p.m., we had a sky full of sun and a press box full of sun, and Working alongside me tonight is Bill Dice behind the lens. I think he's subject to it much as I am. He's got his sunglasses on. And this time the Red Raiders are going to hand it off to number 30. And he's finding all kind of room now inside the 5. Jamari Walker inside the 5-yard line. Good looking run there. He's down to the 3. Walker just refused to be stopped, plowing through several defenders and a collection of them, finally bringing him down. He's going to come out and get a break after that. It looks like he's going to be replaced by Malachi Mitchell. Great looking run there by Walker. Really the first really big play for Uniontown this drive. The Red Raiders had been breaking off yardage in chunks of 7 and 8 yards, and then Walker nearly took it to the house. Now it's going to be Torbich and Jackson in the backfield. Handoff goes to Jackson inside, and Cam Jackson is in for the touchdown. Good-looking run there on the draw between the tackles. The Uniontown Red Raiders taking advantage of some of that size in the middle. Number 70, Cam Watkins, paving the way for Cam Jackson. And Jackson is in to make this game, for the time being, 13-0. The Red Raiders now going to prepare for the extra point. Nathan Searock on to hold. And it's going to be number 19, Sam Fitzpatrick. And here's the snap. The kick is on the way and good. This one right through the uprights. And the Uniontown Red Raiders now have taken for themselves a 14-0 advantage here at Redstone Field. Magisterial District Judge Nathan Henning extends his best wishes to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, the Uniontown Red Raiders, and all of our local teams for a great season. District Judge Nathan Henning recognizes that a successful season requires teamwork. It's the result of the hard work of the players and coaches and the support of their families. Good luck to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs and Uniontown Red Raiders from District Judge Nathan Henning, who would appreciate your vote on November 7th. Welcome back to Redstone Field here just outside of Republic, Pennsylvania, and beautiful Fayette County, Pennsylvania. Sam Fitzpatrick going to send this one off for the Uniontown Red Raiders with less than 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kick is sky high, going to bounce right about the Brownsville 20, and it's going to be scooped up there by the Falcons. And a nice-looking return. Mason Kuhn for the Uniontown Red Raiders going to track down the returner. That was Levi Grogan on the return. Grogan, nice little spin, got the ball up to almost the Brownsville 25-yard line. The Falcons going to look to see if they can't get something going here, now down 14-0. And it would be nice, if you are a Falcons fan, to see them put up a big number here, a crooked number, as they say, and keep this one close and give them something to rally behind as the first quarter draws to a close. Caden Wimmer under center for Brownsville. And he's got in the backfield behind him split backs, one of them Xavier Vargas, the other number 4, Anthony Evans. And a false start, so it would appear, against the Brownsville Falcons. Left tackle on the move early. And the officials are going to count this one out. And the spot of the ball now going to be brought back to the Brownsville 19. Brownsville Falcons going to break the huddle here. 1st and 15 to go. Vargas and Evans will stand behind Cade Wimmer in the eye. And Wimmer, maybe a moment of confusion there, is going to be ripped down by Cam Jackson. It looked like maybe there was going to be a draw play, but there was some hesitation in front of Wimmer, and it allowed Cam Jackson to jump between the tackle and guard on the left side and rip Wimmer down. So now it's going to be 2nd down, and the scoreboard here at Redstone Field going to say 14 yards. We're going to say maybe 14, maybe 15 to go. And the Falcons appear to have 12 men in the huddle. They set the extra man away. Wimmer now looking at a long second down for his offense. And the handoff going to be a pitch to Evans, and the football is lost, and will it be recovered by Uniontown? Everybody in on it. We'll see exactly where the officials decide that ball ended up. The pitch had gone to Evans, and that play developed really nicely, and it's going to be Uniontown football, recovered by Uniontown. Difficult break here for the Falcons, recovered by Uniontown at the Brownsville 13. The Uniontown Red Raiders, 2 touchdowns already this quarter. Kadrian McGlee on the dive over the pile for the first one. Then Cam Jackson, good-looking run between the tackles on a draw play just a few minutes ago. 1:16 to play, and now you have to wonder, will the Uniontown Red Raiders potentially put up 20 points here in the first quarter? McGlee has Jackson and Kuhn, split backs either side of him. Way out wide to our side, Calvin Winfrey going to be a little pass to Jackson. And Jackson, great-looking stiff arm to escape the first would-be tackler, then slides past Donovan Wimmer, and several Falcons going to meet him at about the 2 and bring him down. Spot of the ball will be the 2-yard line. Nice-looking play there. I had started to say before the Red Raiders took over this possession that the play in which the Falcons just fumbled on started to develop really nicely. They had a great inside handoff to Vargas that really seemed to suck in the middle of that defense and fool everybody. I know I was following Vargas, and then it turned out that Cade Wimmer still had the ball, but his pitch to Evans was ahead of Evans, and Evans was unable to hold on to it. It was a good-looking play otherwise, and Evans did have some room on the far side. And we're going to have a timeout taken now by the Uniontown Red Raiders here at Redstone Field. It's the Uniontown Red Raiders 14 and the Brownsville Falcons 0. Fayette County Commissioner Vince Vicides salutes all who work so hard to keep high school football an important part of our lives. A great amount of effort. Much of it behind the scenes goes into putting a team on the field. And a lot of teamwork occurs when elected officials produce positive outcomes in our communities. On Election Day, let's keep Vince Vicides and his team moving forward. Vince Vicides, at work building Fayette County's future. Paid for by the Friends of Vince Vicides. 23 seconds remain here at Redstone Field in the first quarter. It's the Uniontown Red Raiders 14. And the Brownsville Falcons, nothing. And the Uniontown Red Raiders are knocking on the door. They're going to see if they can't put up 20 points in this quarter, and they've got 23 seconds to do it. The Red Raiders going to come out in a new formation here. Kadrian McGlee is going to be flanked by Torbich and Kuhn, with Cam Jackson, the deep back here. McGlee. Handoff goes to Cam Jackson. Jackson going to bowl over at a tackle. Donovan Wimmer went high, and following Wimmer was Brownsville's number 22. That's Bryce Horobic. He went low, but neither one of them could stop Cam Jackson, and Cam Jackson has just scored his second touchdown of the night to give the Red Raiders a 20-0 advantage over the Brownsville Falcons. Nathan Searock going to find the spot that he likes to hold this extra point attempt. And Sam Fitzpatrick, who's been perfect so far, going to see if he can't stay perfect. And that one's beautiful. It looked like Sam Fitzpatrick made a extra point and nearly made a goal in the soccer net behind the field goal post. Here at Redstone Field, it's Uniontown 21, Brownsville nothing. Doctors Ruth Hart, Calabrese, Stokes, and Hopi and their entire team at SWGI Specialists have recently joined U.S. Digestive Health, the leading gastroenterology practice in the northeastern United States. They want you to know they will continue to provide the exceptional GI care and treatment in their local community that you enjoy and trust. For more information or for help with your digestive problems, call 724-437-7677 or visit usdigestivehealth.com. We're back here at Redstone Field. The Uniontown Red Raiders leading 21-0. Less than a minute remaining, and Fitzpatrick's kick is going to land right about the 25-yard line, and it's going to be scooped up by Brownsville's number 18, and he's got some room for the Brownsville Falcons. Look out, number 18. That's Jaden Praster. Takes it back to nearly midfield. There's a flag at the end of the play. Wow. Praster picked that one up and found some room along the right-hand side. We'll see the nature of this call already here at Redstone Field. There are some who are unhappy that a flag is on the field at all, and it certainly appears as though this is going to be a holding call. We'll wait and see officially. It is going to be against the Brownsville Falcons. And maybe instead we have a block in the back. And it's going to be counted out. And some of that yardage earned by Praster is going to be brought back as the spot of the ball now is at the 36-yard line. .9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Wimmer under center. And we've got a false start, so it would seem, from the right tackle for the Brownsville Falcons. Just ahead of the snap. We really appreciate you taking some time this evening and joining us on this broadcast. Checking us out live on Facebook from WMBS Radio. Of course, you can check your AM dial 590 to see how the Laurel Highlands Mustangs are faring against Bell Vernon right now. And this running play from the Brownsville Falcons is probably going to bring the quarter to a conclusion, but it's not going to gain the Falcons much. Alongside Bill Dice, this is Joshua Scully. We've watched the Uniontown Red Raiders put up 21 points on these Brownsville Falcons in quarter number one. Here on another C. Harper Auto Group High School Sports Night, live via Facebook. And now this is going to be Cade Wimmer, and he's in a lot of trouble to begin quarter number two. Tracked down there by Uniontown's number 65, Connor Hebda, brought down in the backfield. That's going to bring up third down. The Brownsville Falcons have, unfortunately, often moved in the wrong direction offensively. Though at the same time, they've had a few really good-looking plays. And, of course, that kick return, also pretty impressive. Jeremy Praster finding a lot of space until some of it was negated with a penalty flag. And now it will be 3rd and 20 for the Falcons. Wimmer in the shotgun. Sidecar to his right is number 35. Alexander Booker, and we've got a flag, and it appears as though we've got a false start, and we do, a false start penalty against the Brownsville Falcons. We saw a lot of penalty flags last week at Bill Power Stadium between the Uniontown Red Raiders and the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, and there have been a fair share of flags on the field in this one too, even just a minute into the second quarter. So now Brownsville's going to look at 3rd and 25. Booker still the sidecar. Wimmer in the shotgun. Snap goes to Wimmer. He's back. He's going to look to his left, and he wants deep. And the ball is going to be intercepted by Cam Jackson. Jackson going to escape Harlan Davis, and he's going to step out of bounds, so it would seem, near the Brownsville 30. Another turnover for these Falcons. They had earlier suffered a fumble, and we might have a flag. We do have a flag on the play. Cam Jackson unhappy with that. He's going to talk to the official, and he's going to give up the football. He seems very disappointed. And we'll see what the nature of the call is here. A few of the officials are going to confer. The flag is down back at the Brownsville 12. And the flag is going to be picked up. It looks like the officials are prepared to count it out. We've not seen an official signal the nature of the penalty yet. At least I have not. They're going to talk to Associate Head Coach Harry Kaufman for the Uniontown Red Raiders. The spot of the ball brought all the way up to the Brownsville 27. And Brownsville is going to be given a first down. Still did not see an official signal the nature of that penalty. Potentially defensive pass interference, defensive holding. All possibilities, but we did not see a signal there, so it's a new set of downs for Brownsville. A good break for the Falcons, negating that interception. Here's Wimmer, and appears as though Wimmer may have lost the snap, and he's trying desperately to recover it. I don't know that he will, and it may be Uniontown Red Raider football anyway. Standing up with the football, at least, was Uniontown's number 23, Stephen Dillard. And apparently, Brownsville is going to be credited with maintaining control of the ball. Now we've got an injury on the field. It's going to be second down. And there's going to be a brief stoppage in play here to accommodate that injury. This injury timeout being brought to you by UPMC Rehabilitation Institute. The leaders in physical therapy. Visit physical therapist Jim Burns on Wayland Smith Drive or call 724-437-7500. UPMC Rehabilitation Institute Services relief is closer than you think. The injured player has been seen to, and we now have less than 10 minutes to go in quarter number 2. 2nd and 7. I formation for Brownsville. They've operated out of this a few times, and we're going to have a false start here on the Brownsville tight end. Donovan Wimmer getting an early jump and making some contact too. And so now Brownsville's 2nd and 7 will become a 2nd and 12. You're enjoying another Uniontown Red Raider high school football game live on Facebook from WMBS Radio. Another exciting edition of C. Harper Auto Group High School Sports Night. 9:31 to go in the second quarter. And Cade Wimmer has Evans in the fullback spot, and nice looking handoff there to Vargas, who was in at halfback. And Vargas plows ahead, makes some strong contact, and brings the ball out to right around the Brownsville 34. This is going to bring up second down. Correction, will bring up third down, 3rd and 4. The Brownsville Falcons here with an opportunity to pick up a first down. Of course, that Uniontown defensive front truly has a significant amount of size. And so far this evening, it has been difficult to move the Uniontown front for this Brownsville offense. I formation, Wimmer going to keep it himself, and he's grabbed by his counterpart, Kadrian McGlee, and Kadrian does not allow him to escape. At first, it looked like Wimmer had a great jump on a QB sneak, and Kadrian just shoots an arm out and stopped Wimmer in his tracks, pulled him back to the ground. Wimmer a little bit frustrated there, and that's going to bring up 4th and 1. Wimmer does gain a couple yards on the play. We'll see what Brownsville decides to do. They trail 21-0. Brownsville still in the huddle. 7:52 and counting remaining in quarter number 2. And it looks like the Falcons are going to go for it here on 4th down. They've got nothing to lose here at this point. Wimmer collides with the line, and it looks like he's been driven downward. At first, it looked like he was driven backward. If he gets a friendly spot here, he may have a first down. It's going to be very close. And it looks as if the officials are indeed signaling first down for the Falcons, so Brownsville on the move. I could stand to be corrected, but I believe this is the closest Brownsville has come to this point, possessing the football to Uniontown Red Raider territory, with the spot of the ball now at the Brownsville 38. Vargas and Evans in the backfield, I formation for Wimmer. Wimmer takes the snap. He's going to roll out, and he's got some space. Just gets around Nick Torbich and takes a hard hit as he goes out of bounds. Uniontown's number 23, Stephen Dillard, there to meet him. But a nice-looking play from Cade Wimmer. Tremendous athleticism from that young man, finding the edge on the rollout, and he just kept going, just escaping the clutches of Uniontown's number 45, Nick Torbich. Torbich almost beat him to the end. 6:57 to play. Uniontown leads 21-0, but the Brownsville Falcons are in Uniontown territory. They're at the Uniontown 49, and they have sustained this drive, albeit one that was preserved via penalty, and the handoff here is going to go to Evans. Evans bounces outside. Now he's looking for a corner, and there's not one for him. A little spin move, and then he's going to pay the price as Cam Jackson was waiting on the other side of that corner. And Evans gets back on his feet. Great start to that play as Evans looked to be in space. And then Cam Jackson took away that space and took away the play. Spot of the ball is going to remain the 49, so a lot of effort there from number 4, Anthony Evans, but no gain for the Falcons. Second and long now. Cade Wimmer brings his offense to the line of scrimmage. Harlan Davis in the backfield along with Xavier Vargas. And it looks like it was meant to be a inside handoff, a little fake there to Davis, and the pitch to Vargas. And hey, the Falcons easily pick up the better part of 6 yards on that play. And there's some post-play contact between players that the spectators here at Redstone Field are not especially crazy about. Really good crowd on hand here at Redstone Field. Of course, it's a beautiful night, and I'm here alongside Bill Dice. Bill and I now spared the wrath of the sun for about the whole first quarter. We were blinded. It's tough to tell even what was happening on the field at times. The sun was hitting the press box so perfectly, and now the sun has dipped behind the tree line, so we are able to see the field of play, which, of course, when you're at a football game, is exactly what you want to do. Here's Cade Wimmer with Davis and Vargas in an I formation. Harlan Davis, of course, certainly well known to those of you who are Fayette County football fans. He's a name that you know. Xavier Vargas wants you to know his name, though. He's up over the Uniontown 35. Brownsville really now putting together a nice drive. This ball is going to be spotted at the Uniontown 34, so it would seem. Nice counter play. It looked like for sure the handoff going to Davis. The officials, though, going to confer about the outcome of that play, perhaps. Vargas took it on the inside. Harlan Davis, of course, the big body back. Xavier Vargas, more of the speedster, and he capitalized on that speed. And it looks like that flag is going to be picked up, so there is no flag on that play. And play will be resumed now from the Uniontown 34 officially. The Brownsville Falcons up to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Brownsville has really put an impressive drive together. Must give credit where it's due, and Vargas going to try to continue it, and he will. And he rushes ahead, where he is met by number 22, Michael Thomas, who finally rips him down. And Vargas is just on fire this drive. Those inside gives and the misdirection opening up lanes inside for him. And I'll tell you what, the most impressive aspect of this drive to this point so far, as we had mentioned, all of the size that Uniontown brings to that line, Brownsville has been trying to counter it, at least on this drive, with those misdirection, those inside gives on the counter. Vargas going to take a play off, so it would seem. Evans in the backfield now, I formation with Harlan Davis. And it's going to be a keeper. Fakes the handoff to Davis, and Wimmer has room to run. He does lose the football at the end of the play. It appeared to be popped out of his hands by Notorious Grooms. But Wimmer had been on his way out of bounds already, and he steps out right around the 16. .338 to play as Wimmer steps out of bounds. Really nice looking drive for the Falcons. They've needed this to give themselves some momentum in this game, to give themselves some hope in this game. They have lost 31 consecutive games, and you need a drive like this every once in a while just to remind yourself that you can do it. Evans and Davis, side formation behind Wimmer, and we've got a flag on the far side. And it looks like it's going to be a delay of game penalty against the Brownsville Falcons. Spot of the ball going to be brought back. This is the first adversity the Falcons have faced in a little while. First and 15 now for Brownsville. Evans and Davis behind Wimmer. Handoff going to go to Davis, and Davis is not going to find much room. He's almost immediately seized, at least one leg in the backfield by Kadrian McGlee, and he could never get another good step in before he falls to the turf. Spotted the ball now perfectly on the 20, 2nd and 14 for the Brownsville Falcons. Anthony Evans going to check out. That probably means we've got Xavier Vargas somewhere, and we do. He's in the backfield alongside Harlan Davis. Wimmer under center. He's taking the snap from Elijah Booker. And the handoff goes to Vargas. This time the Uniontown Red Raiders are ready for that inside give, and they find him and bring him down. Cam Jackson among a party to do so, but we've got another flag on the field. Looking for a signal here. Personal foul going to be called against Uniontown. That is really going to help the Brownsville Falcons' cause out and move them ever so closer to the end zone. Where can you go these days and have your gas pumped for you, oil checked, and windshield cleaned? Joby's Golf, that's where. Joby's Golf is conveniently located at the corner of Fayette and Beeson Boulevard. Joby's Golf is a fast, friendly, full-service gas station that has been serving the Uniontown area for over 49 years. Joby's Golf offers lockout services, a fenced-in storage lot, and is a AAA 24-hour and light truck towing service. Call 724-438-0681. And the lights come on here at Redstone Field as the sun has disappeared. Vargas and Evans in the backfield, and Wimmer's going to try the keeper and is going to be denied almost immediately. The Uniontown Red Raiders ready for it this time, and among them, number 45, Nick Torbich, in to make that stop for Uniontown. In fact, in this particular case, Torbich had hold of Wimmer immediately. Brownsville Falcons having run a very similar play not too long ago that resulted in a good gain for Wimmer. Evans and Davis going to check back in for the Falcons, and Vargas going to head off to the sideline. Falcons now have 2nd down. Just 11 yards to go to the end zone, and 1:45 to play here in the second quarter. And now it looks like we're going to have a timeout taken by the Brownsville Falcons. You're watching another C. Harper Auto Group High School Sports Night. That's right. Uniontown Red Raider football action live on Facebook from WMBS Radio. We're going to take a short break now and hear from our sponsors as we look to return to Redstone Field with the Uniontown Red Raiders leading 21-0. Dave Lohr wants to remain your Fayette County Commissioner. Commissioners have come and gone, but real change came when Dave Lohr was elected Fayette County Commissioner. Dave left politics at the door to focus on what's best for the people of Fayette County. The county is changing from here at home to Pittsburgh to Harrisburg to Washington. They are noticing things are looking up for Fayette County, and businesses are noticing it too, and that's good for everyone. Keep Dave Lohr your Fayette County Commissioner. Savings as easy as 1, 2, 3 with an educational club savings account at First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County. Your future dreams will start adding up. Plus, you can qualify for a scholarship upon high school graduation. Visit any First Federal branch to start saving today. For more information on account rules and scholarship eligibility, visit firstfederalofgreene.com. Best wishes to our local teams from First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County. Welcome back to Redstone Field here as the Brownsville Falcons look to keep a good drive going. And Cade Wimmer, we have a hold. No doubt about it. Cade Wimmer's going to get in the end zone, but Harlan Davis, unfortunately, carried a Red Raider out of the play, and that's going to be a holding penalty against Brownsville. Davis not happy about the call, but it was unfortunately for Brownsville very obvious and occurred right in front of an official. No doubt about it. So the Uniontown Red Raiders are going to keep the Brownsville Falcons off the board after all. 139. Brownsville still looking for the end zone for the first time. And the spot of the ball going to be brought away from the end zone. So now if Brownsville is going to score before the half, it's going to be a bit more of a challenge for Brownsville. The officials are going to confer before moving the spot of the ball. Still conferring. Falcons back on the field now after a moment of conversation. And now the official's going to move the Falcons out of the way and count out the necessary distance. And this is going to bring the Falcons all the way back to the Uniontown 29-yard line. And it looks like we've got additional penalty yardage on top of the initial penalty, possibly of an unsportsmanlike conduct variety. That's going to bring the ball back to the 36. And this is going to be a very long first down for Brownsville from the 36-yard line. Handoff will go to Vargas. Vargas trying to bounce outside, but the Uniontown Red Raiders, and specifically number 22, Michael Thomas, say no. Clock continues to wind here for the Falcons. That last break was a really hurtful one. Brownsville appeared to be on the doorstep of punching one in. In fact, their quarterback had crossed the goal line. Little did he know the penalty flag was already on the ground. And Caden Wimmer's run to the end zone brought back out. And all the way out now to the Uniontown 34-yard line. Caden Wimmer under center I formation. Tries to fake a handoff, and now he's going to keep it. He has a little bit of room here, and he's going to take it. He's pushed out of bounds finally by Uniontown's number 32, Noah Manto. And there's going to be a flag on the play, possibly a late hit. And it will be. The officials are going to say Wimmer was already on his way out when contact was made, and this is going to gift the Brownsville Falcons some of the yardage back that they had previously lost. Mike Abel is the Republican nominee for Fayette County District Attorney, a retired member of the Army and a veteran of Afghanistan with nearly 20 years of experience in the military, police, corrections, and criminal law. He is the most qualified candidate to be your chief law enforcement officer. He is a strong defender of your constitutional rights, and he's dedicated to addressing crime, drugs, and corruption. We need to change in the district attorney's office. Vote for Mike Abel on November 7th because he is the right person to bring about that change. Paid for by the candidate. Back here at Redstone Field, 21-0, but the Brownsville Falcons now again knocking on the door, and it looks like we may have had a miscue And Wimmer trying to get rid of the football at the very end of that play, and it's going to be ruled dead. Incomplete pass. Wimmer looked like he wanted to hand that football off and then realized there was no one to hand it to, and then just barely escaped the clutches of a few Uniontown Red Raiders. 37 seconds to play in the first half. Uniontown put up 21 points in the first quarter, but the Brownsville Falcons have possessed the football for nearly the entirety of the second period. This is a drive that has been going on for a very long time at this point, and did begin well back into Brownsville territory. The Falcons have come a long way, and now we're at the Uniontown 8-yard line. Evans and Vargas in the I formation behind Wimmer. Wimmer going to take the snap from number 65, Elijah Booker, and he's going to try a fade that will be intercepted in the end zone by the Uniontown Red Raiders. And we're going to have a flag on the play. Interception made by Notorious Grooms. That one, an easy interception for Grooms. And it looks like we may have a flag as a result of some interaction following the interception. Harlan Davis trying to rip Grooms down as Grooms was standing at about the 1. And we're going to have a timeout taken on the field here as Uniontown will begin this drive at the 1-yard line. So a sad end for what had been a really interesting drive for the Brownsville Falcons. The Falcons ate up a lot of yardage on the ground. Got it done with a few different running backs and their quarterback. Some penalty yardage each way. Some penalty yardage sending them toward the end zone. Some penalty yardage sending them away from the end zone. And ultimately now a turnover on this Notorious Grooms interception. Bad hair day, bad day at the office, bad day behind the wheel. Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address, plus seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about. Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross River Township is Sprouse Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to Sprouseinsurance.com. Erie Rate Lock is not guaranteed. Continued insurance coverage is not available in all states. So the Uniontown Red Raiders will begin this drive, needing 99 yards to go. 27 seconds remain in the half, and one might think the Red Raiders will be content here, simply not incurring a safety. And the snap is going to go to Kadrian McGlee. McGlee does escape the end zone, and he finds some room, and now Kadrian has a lot of room, nearly gets to the edge. And credit Brownsville Falcons defender number 5, Omari Grayson, for getting out there and stopping Kadrian from what looked to be momentarily a 99-yard gain. Kadrian looked like he was on his way back to Republic, going down 166 on that carry until finally he's met at the sideline. 19 seconds remaining in the second quarter. We've got our halftime show coming up for you very soon. We look forward to that. Of course, we're going to see both bands perform as well. Halftime show today brought to you by Peach and Pharmacy inside the downtown Connellsville Peach and Market. And the official's going to whistle the play dead. Timeout taken by the Uniontown Red Raiders as the Brownsville Falcons marching band moves itself into position. Once again, halftime show coming up, brought to you by the Peach and Pharmacy inside the downtown Connellsville Peach and Market. Halftime show also brought to you today by Radcliffe Law Firm. So we look forward to sharing some statistics with you and also sharing our halftime shows with you. I can see from the press box here, Mr. Wyatt Wilson, the band director for the Uniontown Red Raiders Marching Band. He's getting himself ready, moving some equipment around. Brownsville Falcons Marching Band entering formation near the scoreboard here at Redstone Field. It's a beautiful evening now. Gorgeous. The lights are on here at Redstone Field. You've got the lush southwestern Pennsylvania countryside falling away from you in all directions. Beautiful setting for high school football. Kadrian McGlee going to take the snap here, and he loses it, finds it on the ground. He's going to scoop it up. And now Kadrian going to look way downfield, and he's got a man, and it's Calvin Winfrey. And we talked about taking 166 back to Republic. Fire up the bus, baby. It's Calvin Winfrey for the score, and he could have taken it all the way to Republic had he wanted to. Very, very impressive play. Kadrian McGlee initially losing the snap, but really kept his cool there. Great job finding the football, scoops it up, and he immediately looks downfield. Credit the O-line for Uniontown. Surely Kadrian knew he was going to be bought some time. And that Uniontown offensive line did just that. Calvin Winfrey wide open in the middle of the field just as he was crossing midfield. And now Sam Fitzpatrick. It's been a little while since we've seen him. And the extra point going to be blocked, and then the play is whistled dead. And we have a player down on the field. Hopefully nothing too serious as some bodies collided in an effort to scoop that ball up before the play was whistled dead. This injury timeout being brought to you by UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, the leaders in physical therapy. Visit physical therapist Jim Burns on Wayland Smith Drive or call 724-437-7500. UPMC Rehabilitation Institute services. Relief is closer than you think. 7. Fayette County's own Jack Connor is running for district attorney this November, and he's serious about turning this county around. He's going to go after the drug dealers who are pumping fentanyl into our county, insist on maximum sentences for dangerous criminals and escalating sentences for repeat offenders. With clear consequences, would-be criminals will think twice. Then we can all raise families, start businesses, and feel safe in Fayette County. You can hear it from Jack on Mondays at 4:15 p.m. right here on WMBS Radio. Paid for by friends of Jack Connor. Score big savings when you shop at Reese Warehouse in Smithfield. With great pricing on furniture and appliances from such manufacturers as Maytag, Whirlpool, and more. Furniture by FlexSteel and Ashley, just to name a few. Comfortable Serta, bedding, and more, all at great pricing. Reese Warehouse, your community choice winner, as one of the best places to buy appliances. Shop Monday from 9 to 7, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday until 6, and Saturday 9 to 5. Reese Warehouse, the superstore in Smithfield. Looking for a fast, friendly notary service? Sandy Howell Notary Services, LLC, 158 Dry Knob Road in Smithfield, PA, is here to help you with transfers, plate renewals, new PA plates, and more. They serve Uniontown, Smithfield, Fairchance, and surrounding areas. Open weekday evenings starting at 5:30 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sandy Howell Notary Services, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, 724-564-8955. Big enough to serve you. Small enough to know you by name. This is Joshua Scully here at Redstone Field alongside Bill Dice behind the lens. You are listening to another exciting edition of Uniontown High School football live on Facebook from WMBS Radio. That's right. This is another chapter of the C. Harper Auto Group High School Sports Night. And we've got a great start to this game for the Uniontown Red Raiders, who are going to receive the opening kickoff. It's now evening here in southwestern Pennsylvania, and a beautiful one, cooling off quite nicely. Beautiful halftime performances from both bands. The Red Raiders and Falcons must surely be proud of their classmates who get out there and perform the halftime show, no question about that. And here the Uniontown Red Raiders will receive the opening kickoff, and it is number 24, Cam Jackson, who finds a little bit of room, although he is pursued out of bounds by the Brownsville Falcons, number 21, Noah Jordan. Good return, though. Uniontown is going to begin this drive right about at their own 44-yard line. They'll have 1st and 10, 5 seconds into the second half. Uniontown looking to capitalize on a very strong first half that witnessed 21 first-quarter points, 6 more in the second quarter, denied the Brownsville Falcons any opportunities to score. 27-0 right now, the Uniontown Red Raider lead. The Falcons, if they want to get back into this game, need a big stop here. And then to put a drive together, not unlike that really nice one they enjoyed in the second quarter. Here's the snap to McGlee, handoff to Jackson, inside give, and Jackson's got room to run. And he's going to get all the way into the Brownsville secondary, but he may have lost the football. He did, and it's scooped up by the Uniontown Red Raiders and advanced down the sideline and inside the 5, presumably down at about the 3-yard line. There's a flag there. Notorious Grooms picked up a loose ball and took off. And we're going to find out what exactly the nature of the infraction is here. As it stands, the Red Raiders possess the football inside the 5, but it's going to be against Uniontown. And so some of this yardage gained on that play will come back. Cam Jackson running between the tackles, found some space as he cut through the Brownsville linebackers and into the secondary. And then the ball came out after Jackson had already done a lot of damage, was scooped up by Grooms. Grooms just kept right on going. But unfortunately, the Raiders are going to lose some of what they had gained. Spotted the ball now is the Brownsville 19. So still inside the red zone for Uniontown. The Red Raiders going to see if they can't exact another big play. Their offensive line has opened up plenty of room for operation. Kuhn and Jackson going to flank McGlee on either side. And McGlee takes the snap and hands it off to Jackson. And Jackson is going to be very fortunate to get away there. Some fancy footwork and more of it now as Jackson plows ahead, and there's going to be a flag on the play. Jackson somehow kept his feet. It looked for certain that he was going to be twisted down, and he kept right on working, but we do have another flag on the field. And it's going to be a hold against the Uniontown Red Raiders. So Uniontown, unfortunately, moving in the wrong direction here after a significant combination gain between Jackson and Grooms to start this drive. And it's going to stay first down for Uniontown, but now they're all the way back at the Brownsville 30. 27-0, the Red Raider advantage. The Red Raiders have now scored 40 points on the season between last week and this week. And Kadrian McGlee going to jog out to the slot and confirm with Notorious Grooms. And now he takes the snap between Kuhn and Jackson, and it's a big pass, and he just overthrows Notorious Grooms. Nearly had him. And Grooms had a step, maybe even two, on the defender. Pass falls incomplete. Will bring up second down for the Uniontown Red Raiders. Again, the Red Raiders scoring in a few different ways this evening. Kadrian McGlee on a keeper. Cam Jackson has ran two in. Then McGlee, the big hookup with Calvin Winfrey. That play sort of, I think, breathed some life back into the Red Raiders. Not that they obviously weren't playing well before then, but Brownsville had just consumed so much of the second quarter. Here's the snap and the draw give to Jackson. Jackson going to find room over the left tackle, and he's going to be inside the 20, where he's finally twisted down by a couple of Brownsville Falcons. Among them, Anthony Evans in on the stop. And it looked like we may have had Caden Wimmer and Harlan Davis in the vicinity, if not immediately involved in that tackle. Good gain for Uniontown, although they do face a third down now. The scoreboard here at Redstone Field reading 3rd and 96 briefly. Thankfully, that's not true. Now they correct it to 3rd and 6. It's going to be McGlee, Jackson, and Kuhn. And McGlee going to take the snap, high snap, but he pulls it down. He's going to keep it himself, and he's got some room to work. Now he has even more space. He beats Donovan Wimmer to the outside, and McGlee is going to be pushed out, so it would seem, at about the 1-yard line. McGlee very close to the pylon. The pylon was knocked over by apparently some of the defenders who were in pursuit. And McGlee's spot is now going to be given at the 2. Certainly, Kadrian seemed to be inside the 2 when he went out of bounds. But either way, it's 1st and goal now for Uniontown with 10:48 to play. We shared with you some high school scores at halftime. The Laurel Highlands Mustangs at present looking for their first points this evening. The Uniontown Red Raiders have a few points to spare just in case. And here's Cam Jackson going to add to that total. And he finds the end zone for the 3rd time this evening. Does that quite easily, punching it in. And 6 more points for Uniontown, going to make it 33. Sam Fitzpatrick going to come on now and see if he can't tack on one more. Good to see Nathan Searock back on the field. And it looks like the Red Raiders are missing a man. They're calling for one more, and they're going to get their man. He jogs back onto the field. It looks like the Red Raiders may have a player dealing with a hamstring injury, but he hustles out there. And Fitzpatrick puts this one through quite neatly. And the Red Raiders have 34 points now in this contest. The Brownsville Falcons going to see if they can't manage an answer on what will be their first possession of the second half. Fayette County's own Jack Connor is running for district attorney this November, and he's serious about turning this county around. He's going to go after the drug dealers who are pumping fentanyl into our county, insist on maximum sentences for dangerous criminals, and escalating sentences for repeat offenders. With clear consequences, would-be criminals will think twice. Then we can all raise families, start businesses, and feel safe in Fayette County. You can hear from Jack on Mondays at 4:15 p.m. right here on WMBS Radio, paid for by friends of Jack Connor. And the Uniontown Red Raiders set now to kick this one off. 10:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Red Raiders will be home again next week at Bill Power Stadium for a 7 p.m. kickoff. We certainly hope to see you there. And if you can't join us, you can follow the action right here live on the WMBS Facebook page. And here's a good-looking return for the Brownsville Falcons. Taking a big hit, though, at the end for Brownsville will be, we are confirming a number. It is number 9 for Brownsville. That is Levi Grogan. He's had a couple returns tonight. That one maybe the most impressive so far. And it is going to give Brownsville some decent field position here. The Falcons looking to put together another strong drive. And they're going to have first down right around their own 44. The Falcons, of course, can't afford to invest the sort of time they did in that big second quarter drive. Caden Wimmer under center, going to take the snap. Inside give, Harlan Davis. Davis gets spun around, and there's just nowhere for him to go. He runs right into the teeth of that Uniontown Red Raider defense. And there to meet him, among others, for Uniontown, number 77, Gary Smitley. Mason Kuhn also there. Had Brownsville pulled any further tricks with some misdirection, which they did pretty effectively in the second quarter. That'll bring up second down and 9 to go. They will give Davis a yard on the gain. And so the Brownsville center, number 65, going to bring his unit up to the line. That's Elijah Booker. And the snap to Wimmer. Wimmer's going to keep it himself, and he dives forward. And it looks like there is a lost football on the play. Apparently, a football recovered by the Uniontown Red Raiders. Number 5 on the recovery, David Ranatu, scoops up the loose ball. So a mishandled snap, and Brownsville's drive is over just like that with 9:39 to go. It looked like at the bottom of the pile there that perhaps Brownsville was still possessing the football, but the officials think otherwise, and Uniontown's going to take over here with, again, fairly favorable field position. McGlee with Jackson and Kuhn. The snap. McGlee gets it, hands it off to Jackson. Good block there by Kuhn. Jackson, room to run. Another good block there by Notorious Grooms. And finally, Harlan Davis going to spin Jackson down. Jackson ends up on the Brownsville sideline. But it certainly looks like he's got a first down. And the official's going to signal to wind the clock. We'll see what the official spot ends up being here for Uniontown. And it does look like they're going to give Jackson a first down on that gain. Good-looking run and some good blocking from Uniontown as well to make that happen. The Red Raiders are home again next week. They will host Carrick. 7 p.m. kickoff at Bill Power Stadium. Snap, and it's going to be a sweep to Grooms. Grooms gets a nice block from Cam Jackson this time. Grooms spinning. Donovan Wimmer going to pull him out of bounds, and we're going to have a flag thrown at the end of that play. And we'll see exactly what the cause for the flag is here. It's going to be against Uniontown. The Carrick Raiders have begun the season 0-2. And across those 2 losses, Carrick has managed just 1 touchdown while surrendering 112 points. So, although we don't like to ever get ahead of ourselves, if you're looking for what could be another good showing for this Uniontown Red Raider team, hosting Carrick may be a favorable matchup for the Red Raiders, especially given how they have played tonight. And then, of course, a game that I'm sure many people are going to be looking forward to the following week for Uniontown, a visit to take on the Aubrey Gallatin Colonials. Kadrian McGlee going to escape here and get back up to about the 39-yard line. Another flag on the play, though. Clock continues to wind. 8 minutes to go in this third quarter of play here at Redstone Field. Flag has been picked up. And the marker will show second down for Uniontown. And the penalty will be against the Red Raiders. Spot of the ball is going to be brought back to about the 44-yard line. So Uniontown about the spot where they began this drive after recovering the fumble. And we do have a new quarterback in for the Red Raiders. And there's going to be a flag before the play ever develops. This is going to be Cam Dugan for Uniontown. And he was in the backfield that time with Jackson and Walker. And this penalty also going to be against the Red Raiders. So Uniontown currently moving the wrong way, nearly back to midfield. The Uniontown lead 34-0 at present. And this will be Cam Dugan taking the snap, and a flag before the snap. false start against the Red Raiders. So now Uniontown is back in the Brownsville territory, and the Red Raiders want to talk about this one, a timeout taken on the field. 7:29 to play here in the third quarter. It's Uniontown 34 and Brownsville nothing. The UPMC Rehabilitation Institute on Wayland Smith Drive offers cutting-edge physical therapy. Jim Burns and his staff are residents of the community, treating sports injuries, neurological conditions, back pain, sprains and strains, joint replacements, hand injuries, and other conditions. They treat you efficiently and safely by taking all necessary precautions while disinfecting the clinic regularly. All insurance accepted, experienced therapist, convenient location and hours, part of the community. Call the office with a prescription from your doctor or schedule by direct access 724-437-7500 for UPMC Rehabilitation Institute. Uniontown Mayor Bill Gerke wishes all of our local students a great start to the school year and our student athletes a great fall season. Mayor Gerke would also like to wish Uniontown head coach Keith Jeffries and the Uniontown Red Raiders football team the best of luck this year. As the mayor of Uniontown and proud graduate of Uniontown Area High School, Mayor Gerke is happy to see our student athletes working hard, both in the classroom and in their athletic events. So the Red Raiders now have a long way to go to a first down marker. After a few penalties, Dugan going to take the snap, hands it off to Walker, and Walker is going to be met immediately by a trio of Brownsville Falcons and hauled down, among them Harlan Davis. And that play, unfortunately, is not going to move Uniontown in the right direction. And we're going to see third down now and very long to go for Uniontown. That said, second half certainly started good for the Red Raiders, and holding a 34-point advantage with less than 20 minutes overall of football to play. Not a bad place to be. Good crowd on hand here tonight at the beautiful Redstone Field. Beautiful atmosphere here. Dugan going to take the snap. A high snap gets over Dugan's head. It is recovered by Uniontown, but Brownsville is right there, and this is going to set up a long fourth down situation now for the Red Raiders. For Uniontown, number 22, Michael Thomas, quick to pounce on that one and preserve the possession. Now Uniontown is going to be looking at a very, very long fourth down situation. 4th and 43. And the Falcons certainly are going to look to capitalize if at all possible. Nathan Searock on to punt for Uniontown. And back for Brownsville, we'll see their quarterback, Caden Wimmer, and one of their running backs, Harlan Davis. And the punt. Davis and Wimmer both going to clear out. And it's nearly touched by a retreating Brownsville Falcon blocker. Michael Thomas certainly thought so as well. He scooped that one up and began to run, but the officials will say there was no touch, and instead the football is downed at the Brownsville 35. The Falcons will begin there at the 5:28 mark of the third quarter. 34-0 your score. The Red Raiders once again home next week. They'll play host to Carrick. Carrick has started the season 0-2. As it stands right now, the Red Raiders appear to be in good position to move to 1-1 on the season. And the Red Raiders quick to pounce on this play before it can develop through the middle. Short gain for Brownsville will set up second down. Brownsville Falcons will take to the road next week and actually leave the Keystone State and head over to the Buckeye State. They will take on Buckeye Local in Rayland, Ohio, September 8th at 7 o'clock. And then Brownsville will be back home the following week where they will host a team from the Buckeye State. Good looking tackle there for the Uniontown Red Raiders. That's number 67 for Uniontown on the stop, Elijah Holmes. Holmes left no doubt about that one. Ripped down the ball carrier. Will set up third down. No gain on the play. Actually, play may have resulted in a short loss. 3rd and 7 now. Uniontown going to change around some personnel. 4:15 and counting to go here in the third quarter in this edition of the National Road Rumble between Brownsville and Uniontown. And a fumbled snap scooped up by Wimmer. Wimmer going to try to make something happen. He has a little bit of room and just enough. It does appear he's across the necessary line of gain for a first down. He's going to be tripped up there by Uniontown's number 12, Cam Dugan. That will set up a first down for Brownsville. This has proven to be a very closely contested game. If you cut off the first quarter, you take the first quarter away, and this is a 13-0 ball game. If it were 13-0 right now and Brownsville possessed the ball where they do now near midfield, you might think the Falcons were working on a way to squirrel their way back into this game. That first quarter, though, may be too much to overcome at this point. Harlan Davis gets the inside handoff, and he dances around. He finds some room. Now he finds more room before he's finally pulled down right at the first down marker by number 13 for Uniontown, Braden Hinsey. Hinsey getting over there and tripping up Davis. Davis is a big back coming out of the backfield. He was building up ahead of steam, too, but Hinsey chopped him right down. 2nd down and 1 for the Brownsville Falcons. So Brownsville heading out to Ohio next week. And then they will return here to Redstone Field and play host to Shadyside. Shadyside also coming from the Buckeye State. Handoff here to the very dangerous and elusive Xavier Vargas. And Vargas nearly breaks this one. It looked like he was tripped up by Braden Hinsey, and a duo of Red Raiders pulled him down at the very end. Vargas making his own space there. Some very quick footwork. We do have a player down for Brownsville and maybe a player shaken up on the Uniontown side. So action here at Redstone Field going to pause just momentarily as those players are checked on. This injury timeout is being brought to you by UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, the leaders in physical therapy. Visit physical therapist Jim Burns on Wayland Smith Drive or call 724-437-7500. UPMC Rehabilitation Institute Services. Relief is closer than you think. We want to thank the Sprouse Insurance Group once again for presenting our pregame show. Insurance agent David Hughes got us ready for the game tonight. During that pregame show, we talked briefly about the history between these two teams. They know each other well. They played each other twice last season and are slated to play a second time this season at Bill Power Stadium in October. I know we don't like to think this, but that game will be here before we know it. Be just a few days before Halloween. The Brownsville Falcons will this season once again also face the Carrick Raiders. And the reason I mention that, Carrick outscored 112-6 across their first two contests this season. The Falcons looking for their first win in a couple of years. Xavier Vargas gets all the way down to the end zone, and he's in. He appeared to be down at the 1-yard line, where Stephen Dillard certainly also thought that Vargas was down. Dillard tackled him at the 1. Vargas somehow wiggled ahead and got into the end zone. And the Brownsville Falcons are on the board. Xavier Vargas has had quite a night. Both of the long Brownsville drives have been largely courtesy Vargas's legs. And watch out, Vargas is in the backfield now, split backs, him and Evans. Handoff is going to stay with Wimmer. Nice fake to Vargas. He faked me out, and Wimmer's in for 2. may have been a case where everybody thought the ball was going to Vargas there. I certainly did. Wimmer kept it himself and gets in for 2 points, and it's 34-8. And again, if you shave off that first quarter of play, you would have yourself right now a 13-8 ball game. And over the second and third quarters, Brownsville's time of possession has been really impressive. They have held on to the football. They've put together some good-looking drives, but of course, that really speaks to the importance, too, of the first quarter of play. The Uniontown Red Raiders left no doubt about it. Put up those 21 quick points. And although that did not quite make it a ball game, those 21 points now do not come back off the scoreboard, unfortunately, for the Brownsville Falcons. And that still leaves the margin at present 26 points between these two teams with 2:02 remaining in the third quarter of play. Falcons going to prepare now to kick it off, and kicking for the Brownsville Falcons, number 51, Andrew Frazee. Frazee's a lefty, gives this one a boot. Nice looking kick. Back to pick it up is Cam Jackson. Jackson's going to catch it on a run. That probably is not good news for the Falcons. And he's going to get up, stays on his feet, and several Falcons will finally corral him. Dylan Cable among them, and I believe Andrew Frazee, the kicker, in there to finish what he started with that kickoff, helping make the tackle. And now the Uniontown Red Raiders will have good field position. Cam Jackson getting it done tonight on both sides of the ball and on special teams. You cannot beat that. And the official's going to set the ball up now for the Red Raiders. 1st and 10. Uniontown broke the 40-point scoring threshold in both meetings with the Brownsville Falcons. And I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to that contest in 2 weeks between these Uniontown Red Raiders and the Albert Gallatin Colonials. That rivalry has gone on for years and years and years. And I think we're going to see a really exciting entry over at York Run here in a couple weeks. And the handoff for Uniontown. Nice looking run there by number 22. The Uniontown Red Raiders, Michael Thomas, he's had a nice game. He's also been all over the place. We've said his number and name quite a few times. And now he's got the Red Raiders into Brownsville territory at the 49-yard line. Beautiful evening here to kick off the month of September. Happy September to you. Once again, this is Joshua Scully alongside Bill Dice. You're checking out another exciting edition of Uniontown Red Raider High School Sports Night here on Facebook. Thanks to WMBS Radio. Over on the AM dial tonight, of course, it's the Laurel Highlands Mustangs and Bell Vernon Leopards. Bell Vernon had led that game at halftime. Snap to Dugan, and maybe a miscommunication there. It looked like Dugan had intended to hand the ball off to Walker and then kept it himself. He's going to lose a couple yards on the play, but not too much damage done there. Will back the Red Raiders back into Uniontown territory, and the ball will be spotted at the Uniontown 47. We do hope to see you next week at Bill Power Stadium for when the Uniontown Red Raiders play host to the Carrick Raiders. And it looks like we've got a stoppage of play on the field, but if we can't find you at Bill Power Stadium, feel free to check us out here. The players are now being waved back onto the field, so perhaps there wasn't a stoppage after all. The clock continues to run, and perhaps that's actually the cause of the players heading off. They know they do not need to call another play. It looked like a couple of the officials perhaps were concerned that they would, but as it turns out, they do not. That's going to bring the third quarter to a conclusion. It's Red Raider football, 3rd and 9, 34-8, Uniontown. Savings as easy as 1, 2, 3 with an educational club savings account at First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County. Your future dreams will start adding up. Plus, you can qualify for a scholarship upon high school graduation. Visit any First Federal branch to start saving today. For more information on an account and scholarship eligibility, visit firstfederalofgreene.com. Best wishes to our local teams from First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Greene County NMLS number 458729, member FDIC, equal housing lender. And our teams are going to flip sides here as they begin the third quarter of play. Correction, the fourth quarter. The third quarter just having come to a conclusion. It must be wistful thinking for me that we get a bonus quarter of action tonight here on a beautiful late summer evening. This is vintage high school football weather, if there ever has been, here at Redstone Field. And now it looks like we're ready to go. 12 minutes to go, 34-8, the Uniontown advantage. And this play not going to develop for the Red Raiders. It's going to result in a loss. Uniontown trying to get the ball there to number 9, Marcus Heiss. And Harlan Davis tracks him down, brings him down for a loss. That will bring up fourth down for Uniontown. Fourth and 9 to be exact, but there is a marker down. And the official's going to talk this one out. The Uniontown Red Raiders look like they're preparing to punt either way, so I don't believe the result of that marker is going to change the current dynamic of fourth down. And the officials are going to continue to confer. Still a marker down on the far side of the field. Doctors Ruthard, Kara Brees, Stokes, and Hopi and their entire team at SWGI Specialists have recently joined U.S. Digestive Health, the leading gastroenterology practice in the northeastern United States. They want you to know they will continue to provide the exceptional GI care and treatment in their local community that you enjoy and trust. For more information or for help with your digestive problems, call 724-437-7677 or visit usdigestivehealth.com. So, what appeared to be a 4th and 9 has manifested itself into a 4th and 21 as a result of that most recent penalty. Nathan Searock going to count his teammates, make sure he has enough and not too many, and here's the punt. And it's going to sail over the head of the Brownsville return man. Picking it up there will be number 6 for Brownsville, and he's got some quick feet, does number 6. Not a bad return by the Brownsville quarterback, Caden Wimmer. Wimmer's had a busy night. And we've got a flag on the far side of the play. Quite a few flags this evening. We'd seen quite a few flags, too, last week when the Red Raiders hosted the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. And this one looks like it's going to go against the Brownsville Falcons, based on the body language of the officials. Dave Lohr wants to remain your Fayette County Commissioner. Commissioners have come and gone, but real change came when Dave Lohr was elected Fayette County Commissioner. Dave left politics at the door to focus on what's best for the people of Fayette County. The county is changing from here at home to Pittsburgh, to Harrisburg, to Washington. They are noticing things, are looking up for Fayette County, and businesses are noticing too. And that's good for everyone. Keep Dave Lohr your Fayette County Commissioner. That's Dave Lohr for Fayette County Commissioner. So the penalty will be against the Brownsville Falcons, and Brownsville is going to move way back into their territory. They had a decent spot off of the return. Now this drive is going to start at their own 10. They're going to have the proverbial long field challenge if they're going to put another big number on the board like they did during their last drive. And this play not going to develop into very much. Uniontown there very quickly, especially number 5, David Ranatu. And now the spot of the ball will be the Brownsville 8, 2nd and 12. The Uniontown Red Raiders have some new faces on the field. Even across that defensive line, which played so well early. Hunter Sabatula out there now for Uniontown. He's going to anchor the middle of that defensive unit along with number 66, Eddie Klosser. And the Brownsville Falcons finally coming up to the line of scrimmage. They can't have much time left to get this play off. Wimmer going to lose the snap, and he dives in the pile after it. He will recover it this time. That's not the first time this evening that has happened. Wimmer right back on this one, though. Earlier situation appeared to be recovered by Wimmer, only for us to learn that, in fact, the Red Raiders had come up with it. So Brownsville now going to face 3rd and 10. Are you looking for a fast, friendly notary service? Sandy Howell Notary Services, LLC, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, PA, is here to help you with transfers, plate renewals, new PA plates, and more. They serve Uniontown, Smithfield, Fairchance, and surrounding areas. Open weekday evenings starting at 5:30 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sandy Howell Notary Services, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, 724-564-8955. Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you by name. In the meantime, Caden Wimmer is way down the sideline on what amounts to the better part. Oh, we have a flag, and it looks like that one is going to come back. What amounted to the better part of an 80-yard gain, possibly erased as Cam Dugan pushed Wimmer out of bounds, and we're coming back. The Brownsville Falcons, at the time being unfortunately unable to capitalize on the big play from Wimmer. Caden Wimmer, though, really got to tip your cap to him. He's got it done on a few plays. That time looked really good running down the sideline. He's done a nice job tonight for Brownsville, especially from the second quarter onward. Brownsville not able to catch a break here, though. Bad hair day, bad day at the office, bad day behind the wheel. Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about. Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross River Township is Sproul's Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sproulsinsurance.com. Erie Rate Lock is not guaranteed. Continued insurance coverage is not available in all states. So now Brownsville's going to have another crack at this. It's 3rd and 12. Wimmer's going to take the snap, and the handoff is going to go to the elusive Vargas, and Vargas manages to find some space again until he collides with Uniontown's number 20, Darian Miller. He's going to be right at the first down marker, though, and it looks like the officials are prepared to give him the first down. Indeed, they will. Sticks are going to move. And with 9 minutes to play, the Brownsville Falcons have a first down. If you tuned into this broadcast in support of the Brownsville Falcons, you can't be too disappointed. The Falcons have done a lot of things really well tonight, and they've got a great quarterback in this Caden Wimmer. I've got a feeling this losing streak is soon going to come to an end. This time, though, the Red Raiders are ready for Wimmer. Among them, number 71, Hunter Sabatula. And it looks like we might get a short gain at best out of this particular play. Clock continues to wind now, 8:25 remaining. And it looks like we've got a player down on the field. It appears to be a player for Brownsville. This injury timeout is being brought to you by UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, the leaders in physical therapy. Visit physical therapist Jim Burns on Wayland Smith Drive or call 724-437-7500. UPMC Rehabilitation Institute Services. Relief is closer than you think. And the player who is down being seen to and back on his feet for Brownsville is the player who was down. It appears to be number 65, Elijah Booker, who had been playing center for the Brownsville Falcons. He's going to be helped off the field. Fayette County Commissioner Vince Vicitti salutes all who work so hard to keep high school football an important part of our lives. A great amount of effort, much of it behind the scenes, goes into putting a team on the field, and a lot of teamwork occurs when elected officials produce positive outcomes in our communities. On Election Day, let's keep Vince Vicitti and his team moving us forward. Vince Vicitti at work, building Fayette County's future, paid for by the Friends of Vince Vicitti. The Brownsville Falcons do have a fresh set of downs. And they've got a new center ahead of Caden Wimmer. Wimmer's going to take the snap, fakes the handoff, gets some pressure here. He's going to have to escape from it, and he will to his left. He's going to find some more room, and he's got a great block downfield. That's going to produce a flag as he's finally tracked out of bounds by Walker. And there is a flag on the field. It looks like this one's going to be against the Brownsville Falcons, and specifically against Brownsville Falcons number 7, Jonathan Vassbinder. We'll see exactly the nature of the call. We do have a player down. And said player helped back to his feet. Coach Harry Kaufman there, and Uniontown's athletic trainer doing the helping. Penalty is going to be against Brownsville. And this is going to bring the ball back to about the Brownsville 25. So another significant gain for the Falcons negated. But hopefully the Brownsville Falcons are going to snap this streak in the near future. And it would be especially sweet to see them snap it here at Redstone Field in front of their fans. Wimmer going to take the snap, and he's handing it off to Vargas. He will not, actually. He keeps it. Everyone is so locked in on Vargas, including myself. And Michael Thomas going to pull back Wimmer, and the play will be whistled dead for a loss. 7:50 remaining in the game. Brownsville Falcons' upcoming schedule, of course, does have them traveling to Ohio next week, then hosting Shadyside from Ohio. It's Friday, September the 22nd, that they will travel to Pittsburgh to face Carrick, and that might be a game to mark on your calendars. 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Brownsville will then stay away and visit Myersdale a couple of weeks later and take on the Red Raiders of Somerset County up in Myersdale, PA. And we're going to see a timeout taken now by Brownsville with 7:11 to play in a 34-8 ball game. We'll be right back here to Redstone Field. Where can you go these days and have your gas pumped for you, oil checked, and windshield cleaned? Joby's Golf, that's where. Joby's Golf is conveniently located at the corner of Fayette and Beeson Boulevard. Joby's Golf is a fast, friendly, full-service gas station that has been serving the Uniontown area for over 49 years. Joby's Golf offers lockout services, a fenced-in storage lot, and a AAA 24-hour car and light truck towing service. Call 724-437 0681. The Brownsville Falcons have put together a couple of strong drives. They've had some big plays negated by penalty. They have definitely demonstrated their ownership of a few playmakers. And they're going to try now to see if they can't put together one more drive. Wimmer on the keeper, and he's going to hand off at the last second to Evans, but Evans is immediately caught by Walker before he could get to the edge. At best, the play is going to produce perhaps a yard for the Falcons. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 14. The sticks on the field have not yet been updated. And now they will be. 3rd and 14 it is with 6:33 to play. Out-of-town scoreboard for you. Bell Vernon 33, Laurel Highlands 0. Waynesburg and Jefferson Morgan locked in a 7-7 brawl in the third quarter. Flag down. And it's going to be a penalty against the Uniontown Red Raiders. And this may prove beneficial to the Brownsville Falcons. Correction on that Bell Vernon Laurel Highlands score and the Waynesburg score. It is a final. Bell Vernon 40, Laurel Highlands 0. And it appears if though Waynesburg has taken a 6-point lead over Jefferson Morgan as the officials mark out the distance on this infraction. And Brownsville's going to get a first down and the ball brought out to the 36-yard line. Wimmer under center now for Brownsville as the Falcons look to put together one more drive here, and the Red Raiders just not having it. That handoff to Xavier Vargas immediately swallowed up by Uniontown's number 22, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas has had a really nice second half. He's been busy on this field. Second down now for the Falcons, and the clock winds to 6 minutes and 10 seconds. The Brownsville Falcons, since this first quarter, have done very well. They've held the Uniontown Red Raiders to 13 points. They have scored 8 of their own. They have possessed the ball for, at times, very long stretches, nearly possessing the football for the entirety of the second quarter. Put together a long drive in the third quarter, have possessed their share of the football here in the fourth. They've had some big plays called back on penalties. Caden Wimmer going to see now. So you got Evans in motion. The snap goes over his head. Wimmer's going to reclaim it. Michael Thomas right there behind him, but ultimately he'll be tracked down by Uniontown's number 44, Virgil Yarborough, after he recovers his fumble. After he recovers the high snap. So Brownsville again treading in the wrong direction. Now it's going to be 3rd and 22. Best of luck to the Brownsville Falcons moving forward as they will be traveling to Ohio next week to take on Buckeye Local. That's in Rayland, Ohio. The Uniontown Red Raiders playing host at Bill Power Stadium next week for a 7 p.m. kickoff against the Carrick Raiders. And Wimmer's going to take the snap here under center. Now he's going to escape. Good block there. And he's going to move to the left-hand side. He's still on his feet. He gets another good block. No flags this time either. Wimmer had one man to beat, and that one man says, absolutely, you will not beat me, for the Uniontown Red Raiders. He's immediately hugged by his teammates, so we can't quite make out a number yet. And that's going to be number 16 for Uniontown, King Priester, who came over and really put a good shot on Caden Wimmer. Wimmer is still down on one knee. And we're going to see if he needs a trainer. Hopefully he's okay. He's had a great game. And he's going to get a pat on the back from, among others, Uniontown coach Harry Kaufman. And we're going to see the Brownsville trainer coming over and paying Wimmer a visit. And he's back on his feet. And he's going to be escorted off. First, he's going to stop to tie his shoe, and then he's going to be escorted off. This injury timeout is being brought to you by UPMC Rehabilitation Institute, the leaders in physical therapy. Visit physical therapist Jim Burns on Wayland Smith Drive or call 724-437-7500. UPMC Rehabilitation Institute Services. Relief is closer than you think. So the officials signal to wind the clock, and it's going to wind. 4:27. Uniontown Red Raiders sorting out some personnel. So are the Brownsville Falcons, for that matter. And the Falcons now going to come back up to the line. And we've got a new quarterback out there for Brownsville. Number 8, Harlan Davis under center. And he's going to hand it off to Evans. And Evans is going to find only Michael Thomas out there waiting for him. Evans looking for an edge and found Thomas, and that has been a reoccurring theme in this second half as the Brownsville Falcons have searched for daylight, have searched for green grass, and have found instead Michael Thomas. And maybe much to the Falcons' pleasure, Thomas going to come off the field here and get a breather. He's had a strong third and fourth quarter, clock winding now to 3:30 in a 34-8 ball game. Falcons are back home again themselves in 2 weeks when they host Shadyside, Ohio. And the Uniontown Red Raiders heading out to York Run in 2 weeks to take on the Albert Gallatin Colonials. Here's the inside give to Evans. Nice looking play there. Evans going to gain a few yards before he's brought down by Uniontown's number 65, Connor Hebda. Strong tackle there by Hebda. Does not allow Evans to escape, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for the Brownsville Falcons. We've had a great night here at this historic venue in western Fayette County, Redstone Field. Who doesn't know about it? Who hasn't heard about it? Who hasn't been here? All the great games played at Redstone Field over the years. The memories, the wins. Harlan Davis going to lose the snap here. Scoops it up, and now he's got some room. Going to just slip by Hebda, and eventually Cam Dugan forces him out of bounds, but it's going to be a first down for the Falcons. Do not see any penalty flags, although quite a few players are looking for one, and indeed there is one out there. The officials are going to confer with 2:29 to play. Harlan Davis scrambling for a first down as it stands. Penalty is going to be against Uniontown, and this is going to gift the Falcons a few yards on the end of this play. The Brownsville Falcons defeated last week by the Bentworth Bearcats, and for all intents and purposes look like they will be suffering a second loss this season at the hands of the visiting Red Raiders. These teams are scheduled to meet again at the conclusion of the season at Bill Power Stadium. The Brownsville Falcons looking to snap this losing streak. They've got a couple opportunities to do so in the interim. Harlan Davis going to remain under center here, and he'll take the snap, first down. And he's going to look for an edge here as he keeps it himself. And he's going to try a last-moment pitch that is lost on the field and certainly recovered by the Red Raiders. He tried to pitch it out to Evans, but Evans couldn't handle it, and it's going to be recovered by Uniontown's number 40, Chucky Wingfield, and a smart recovery there. Wingfield doesn't try to scoop it up, although truly there were no Falcons between him and the end zone. If he had scooped it up and tried to move the ball the better part of 80 yards for a score, he just falls on it, and he's going to give his team a possession with 1:58 to play. Mike Auble is the Republican nominee for Fayette County District Attorney, a retired member of the Army and a veteran of Afghanistan with nearly 20 years of experience in military, police, corrections, and criminal law. He is the most qualified candidate to be your chief law enforcement officer. He is a strong defender of your constitutional rights, and he's dedicated to addressing crime, drugs, and corruption. We need change in the district attorney's office. Vote for Mike Auble on November 7th because he's the right person to bring about that change. Paid for by the candidate. Timeout on the field now, taken by the Brownsville Falcons. Less than 2 minutes to play here at Redstone Field as some of the spectators begin to make their way toward the exit, although a few faithful from both sides, the Uniontown and the Brownsville sides, remaining on here in a 34-8 game. Brownsville had another promising drive, just come to an unfortunate conclusion, and that's not the first time that's happened tonight. Are you looking for a fast, friendly notary service? Sandy Howe Notary Services, LLC, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, PA, is here to help with transfers, plate renewals, new PA plates, and more. They serve Uniontown, Smithfield, Fairchance, and surrounding areas. Open weekday evenings starting at 5:30 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sandy Howe Notary Services, 158 Dry Knob Road in Smithfield, 724-564-8955. Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you by name. And our timeout on the field comes to a conclusion. Don't forget to stick around for the postgame show coming up here from Redstone Field. Postgame show brought to you tonight by South Union Township Supervisor Rick Vernon, working hard for the residents of South Union Township. And the Red Raiders now are going to be content with just running out the remaining time in this game. Clock winding at 1:45. The Red Raiders executed very well early and often in this one. And even as the Brownsville Falcons would control long stretches of possession, unfortunately for the Falcons, those long stretches of possession yielded just 8 points. And Uniontown again just going to take a knee and allow the clock to move. Taking the knee for the Uniontown Red Raiders appears to be number 13, Braden Hinsey. Hinsey was involved in a few good tackles early when the Falcons appeared to be putting together a second promising drive. The Falcons had a few drives negated by penalties, a few end in turnovers. All said and done, this edition of the C. Harper Auto Group High School Sports Night was an exciting one. Big plays from both teams, not unlike last week. A lot of plays that could have tilted this game either way, despite the score, looking, for all appearances, to be one-sided. 34-8, the Red Raiders going to take a final knee, and that is going to bring this one to a conclusion. Your post-game show coming up, brought to you by South Union Township Supervisor Rick Vernon, working hard for you. 34-8, your final score here at Redstone Field. Are you looking for a dentist? Dr. Michael George and Dr. Ashley Parker of George Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com, and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry. Magisterial District Judge Nathan Henning extends his best wishes to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, the Uniontown Red Raiders, and all of our local teams for a great season. District Judge Nathan Henning recognizes that a successful season requires teamwork, and it's the result of the hard work of players and coaches, as well as the support of their families. Good luck to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs and Uniontown Red Raiders from District Judge Nathan Henning, who would appreciate your vote on November 7th. And the two teams involved in tonight's contest, the Uniontown Red Raiders and Brownsville Falcons, meet at midfield to shake hands and then head off to their respective locker rooms. The Brownsville Falcons, no reason to hang their heads tonight. they had done a lot well on this field, and I do think their players and their coaches, as well as their spectators here, certainly must feel that they have something strong to build off in the future. We're going to be right back with you for the postgame show, as well as our player of the game, which is brought to you by Vince Visites. That is your player of the game tonight, brought to you by Vince Visites. Are you looking for a fast, friendly notary service? Sandy Howell Notary Services, LLC, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, PA, is here to help with transfers, plate renewals, new PA plates, and more. They serve Uniontown, Smithfield, Fairchance, and surrounding areas. Open weekday evenings starting at 5:30 p.m., Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sandy Howell Notary Services, 158 Dry Knob Road, Smithfield, 724-564-8955. Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you by name. Mike Auble is the Republican nominee for Fayette County District Attorney, a retired member of the Army and a veteran of Afghanistan with nearly 20 years of experience in military, police, corrections, and criminal law. He's the most qualified candidate to be your chief law enforcement officer. He's a strong defender of your constitutional rights, and he's dedicated to addressing crime, drugs, and corruption. We need change in the district attorney's office. Vote for Mike Auble on November 7th because he is the right person to bring about that change. Paid for by the candidate. Are you looking for a dentist? Dr. Michael George and Dr. Ashley Parker of George Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com, and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry. Fayette County's own Jack Connor is running for district attorney this November, and he's serious about turning this county around. He's going after the drug dealers who are pumping fentanyl into our county, insists on maximum sentences for dangerous criminals, and escalating sentences for repeat offenders. With clear consequences, would-be criminals will think twice. Then we can all raise families, start businesses, and feel safe in Fayette County. You can hear from Jack on Mondays at 4:15 p.m. right here on WMBS Radio, paid for by friends of Jack Connor. The UPMC Rehabilitation Institute on Wayland Smith Drive offers cutting-edge physical therapy. Jim Burns and his staff are residents of the community, treating sports injuries, neurological conditions, back pain, sprains and strains, joint replacements, hand injuries, and other conditions. They treat you efficiently and safely by taking all necessary precautions while disinfecting the clinic regularly. All insurance accepted, experienced therapists, convenient location and hours, part of the community. Call the office with a prescription from your doctor or schedule by direct access, 724-437-7500. It's now time for the postgame show, brought to you by South Union Township Director Rick Vernon, who is working hard for you. And part of our postgame show, we will be recognizing the player of the game, which is brought to you by Fayette County Commissioner Vince Visites. We want to thank all of our sponsors tonight for all of their care and support in helping us bring this to you. This was another edition of the Uniontown High School football team, the Uniontown Red Raiders, brought to you via Facebook through WMBS Radio. Don't forget to check us out next week as we will be sharing with you the Carrick Raiders when they pay a visit to Bill Power Stadium. The scoring summary of this evening, a lot happened early. If you watched our game throughout the course of the evening, the Uniontown Red Raiders won up 21-0, courtesy of Kadrian McGlee and Cam Jackson. Then later, it was maybe the big play of the night by way of surprise. After the Brownsville Falcons nearly held the football for the entirety of the second quarter, Kadrian McGlee finds Calvin Winfrey deep for a score. That made the game 27-0. And then the scoring slowed dramatically. In the second half, we saw some long drives and some big plays by both teams, negated by penalties, and a few turnovers sprinkled in as well. Throughout the course of the second half, the Red Raiders did tack on one more score, and the Brownsville Falcons also scored as well, completing a 2-point conversion to bring the final to 34-8. And your player of the game tonight is going to be the Uniontown Red Raiders' Cam Jackson. Not only did Cam put together a great night on the ground for the Red Raiders, he found the end zone multiple times. He was very elusive at times, He was also tremendous on the defensive side of the ball. He was turning up repeatedly in the first half. There were so many times where it looked like the Brownsville Falcons had something developing, only for them to find Cam Jackson. Cam Jackson also had a nice night on special teams. So he is your player of the game, brought to you by Fayette County Commissioner Vince Visites. Cam Jackson, your player of the game. Congratulations, Cam. Next week, the Uniontown Red Raiders will play host to the Carrick Raiders, and we will see you there. This is Joshua Scully alongside Bill Dice for WMBS. Thank you, and have a great Labor Day weekend.